Hello and welcome to another episode of Tokyo Toy Review. Today we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite flying turtle, Gamera. Gamera was first created in 1965 by the Daiei Company and continues to be a very popular creature here in Japan, although not as well known as Godzilla. Although I'm a big fan of Godzilla, Gamera holds a special place in my heart. I even have a special place for him on my arm. Say hello to Gamera on my arm. Hi, Gamera. Alright, let's talk about the first series of Heisei toys, Heisei being the 80s and 90s. The first Heisei Gamera film was released in 1994, and this is the guy from that. The guy being Gamera. This is a beautiful toy made by Bandai. He's just got a nice green with golden highlights and pink mouth with bone-colored teeth. I don't know, he's just very, very simple and very cool. This is definitely one of my favorite Gamera toys. It's also one of the last larger Gamera toys that was made. Later on they started scaling them down, which is not cool. But let's talk about that a little bit more. So this was from the 1994 film Gamera Guardian of the Universe, and after that they made two more films in that same series, but each film Gamera looks a little bit different. So this is from the second film from 1996, Gamera Advent of Legion, or as in Japan they say Legion, and I'll talk about Legion in just a moment. This is a theater exclusive, only released in Japanese theaters, and he's really cool. I think he has the most awesome paint job out of all the Gamera figures I've ever seen. He's got golden shell. He's a translucent orange vinyl with black and red paint. He's got golden tusks and teeth and eyes, and he's just really badass looking. He looks like he's made out of magma or something. Very, very cool. And this guy is one of the harder ones to find as far as the Bandai Gamera toys go, this theater exclusive. I found him a couple weeks ago and snatched him up for 1,500 yen, although, and he's still got the tag, usually these things go for 3,000, 4,000 yen or more. If you live in America, these go on eBay for probably $30 and up. So if you find one for a good price, snatch them. Then we have the Bandai 1999 theater exclusive from the Gamera film Gamera vs. Iris. This one's a translucent green, and he's really cool. I mean, there's just a little bit of light coming through the window, but it makes his eye and his face look like it's glowing green. It's a very cool effect. You'll also notice that he has a translucent orange glowing arm, and that's because in the film his arm is destroyed and he grows a plasma fiery arm and destroys the bad guy with it. So this is a very cool toy. This is quite a bit smaller than the other two, as you can see. Bandai these days makes most of their toys in this scale, so you can see here he's quite a bit smaller. But in this film, Gamera's very menacing looking compared to especially this first one where he was kind of cute, and this one he's a bit scary. Very cool movie, although it relies a lot on CG, which some of it looks really cool. But if you want to see some really cool suit monster action, watch the first two, especially the one with this Gamera, because the bad guy is this dude, Legion, and this is a miniature toy of him by Bandai. He is easily one of the coolest monster suit practical special effects I've ever seen in a film. Check out some clips on YouTube now. Maybe I'll link some in below, but very, very cool movie. Very, very cool villain monster. Going back to the third film, with this guy right here, I've also got a Maru-san designer vinyl of Gamera from the third film, and he is a purplish pink vinyl with a metallic blue spray paint with golden eyes and red mouth. He's very, very cool. I actually found this at a store with another one. They were selling them as a group for 1,000 yen like 10 years ago, and I thought that was amazing, but I only had 500 yen, so I talked the guy into selling me both of them for 500 yen, and now I've never seen this again, and the flying one I've seen at some shops sell for like 4,000 yen, so I'm glad that I grabbed him. Unfortunately, I sold the flying one a few years back in America. Alright, now let's talk about some of the other villains. Since I talked about Legion here, the only other villain that I have is a bunch of Gyaos. Gyaos is the very first Gamera villain, and he continues to be kind of his arch nemesis. He appears in several of the Gamera films. This is the original version from the Showa era, the 1960s through the 70s. He's kind of goofy looking, but he was also menacing at the same time. Out of all the old Gamera films from the Showa period, Gamera vs. Gyaos is my favorite. You should check it out. It's got some really cool special effects. Gyaos is basically like a giant bat, vampire, monster, dinosaur bird thing, and very cool. He's got kind of a shark face. I don't know, he's very unique looking. He kind of reminds me of my cat. And here I've got, by the way, that one was made by, I believe, Marmot. Let me double check on that one. This one is made by Marmot? Yes, by Marmot, and this was released in 1996. And they have multiple colored versions of that. I just have the actual movie colored version. Here's another movie colored version of the classic Gyaos, made by Bandai. This was released in 1991, making this the oldest Gamera figure that I have. He's in beautiful condition, and it's got the same coloring. Very cool Bandai toy from the Gamera series. Speaking of that same Gyaos, I've also got this blue version, which I think this is supposed to kind of be the space Gyaos, but I'm not entirely sure. He's blue and silver, whereas the space Gyaos in the film is completely silver. And I have a little version of him right here. Speaking of this toy, I have no idea who made this. It's licensed by Daiei, according to the bottom, but I have no idea what year it was made or who made it. So if you know anything about this figure, please post in the comments below and let me know. And one other Gyaos figure I have here is a vintage reproduction from an old Marusan toy, but this one was released by the Tommy Corporation. And it's kind of a turquoise, blue and green, gold teeth and eyes, very cool. The original version of this is slightly bigger and it goes for like $100 to $200, whereas this one was maybe like 2,000 yen, 20 bucks. So very cool. I love me some old Gyaos. But speaking of the new Gyaos, I only have one, and it's a miniature version that came out with the 1994 film. And you can see he's got a lot more realistic looking features to him compared to the very kind of cheesy old Gyaos. In the film, there are actually many Gyaos in the newer film as opposed to just one in the old film. And it's a very cool monster. And this was also the last film where they used only suits to portray the Gyaos character, because later in the trilogy they used CG. And the CG looks really good, but there's just something about a man inside of this suit with the big wings fighting Gamera that just looks awesome and hilarious at the same time. I've also got a little Gamera that goes with that one, both released in '94, so you can make them fight. And that's about it for my Gamera collection. I've got some more stuff, but it would take me forever to talk about all of these. I will probably be talking about a bit of my Godzilla collection next episode. I've got lots of Godzilla, so it'll probably be a 2 or 3 part thing. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below, and I will see you next time. Cheers.